get on now. That's right. Better get on now. Still a couple seats available.
Oh, God.
Better get on now. The Jets Playoff Express is getting ready to leave the station. Let me tell you what many of you are not really able to see yet. So I'll point it out for you. The Jets are going to be a playoff team this year. It's not going to be a linear path. It's not going to be a straight shot. Not going to be easy. There's weeks where it's not going to seem fun, probably starting next week against the Eagles. The New York Jets will be a playoff team this season.
Bro, come on, BT, you know I love you. Let's not go nuts over one game against the god-awful Denver Broncos, who should be disbarred from participating in football. I mean, get them. Disband the Broncos. They are pathetic. And we could break down the game and get into all that, but I see why you might have some reason for hope with the defense, with the run game. I mean, that's how the Jets were supposed to be built coming into the year, along with obviously Aaron Rodgers. But this was always going to be the bread and butter, the ground game with Hall and the defense. And you're finally starting to see signs of that with Hall back without restrictions and the defense playing much better. But I watched that game and I saw two I hesitate to say bad football team with the Jets. Mm-hmm. Certainly one bad football team and one team that was not very good. You know what the Jets look like to me? The same thing that they did a year ago, which wasn't good enough for the postseason. Why would that change now?
Well, with a little bit better played quarterback last year, they would have been a playoff team. Remember, they scored one touchdown basically the final month. And listen, if you don't think that Zach Wilson's playing better football, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you're so dug in to the hate and burying the kid and labeling him as an absolute bust that you're unable to recalibrate at this point. Zach Wilson, back-to-back, I'm not saying he was great, but he was good. Back-to-back games, 70+% completion percentage. Back-to-back games, the best quarterback on the field. That's right. He was better than Mahomes. He was better than Wilson. And, you gotta dig in. I know, I get it. The pick, yeah. By the way, Garrett Wilson, could you make a play? I thought Garrett Wilson should have made a play on that ball.
You look.
I did.
Overall, though, BT, you look at this team, and what's the first thing you're thinking when you watch that first half? The end of the first half.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to always exonerate him when he makes a mistake. You got to get 3 spot right there. Of course, I'm not blind.
But that's also on the coach.
That's coaching right there.
Yeah, I want to talk about the coach. I want to talk about the team as a whole before we get into Zach Wilson, because you said this is going to be a playoff team. Well, you watch them fumble all over themselves a lot of this game, whether it was mistakes they made on special teams, whether it was decisions made by the coaches, whether it was the offense struggling. You could pick apart whether it's the quarterback, the wide receiver, whatever it may be. Now, they won the game on the road, which is not an easy thing to do, but, I mean, Denver really beat themselves in this game. So why would I believe after this one win, a team that lost to a Patriots team at home, and now look at what New England's doing, they're getting spanked by everybody, why would I believe that this Jets team is a playoff team? Based on what exactly? Because
I don't think the AFC is as good as we thought it was going to be. The AFC right now is very muddled, which is part of the reason why I'm sure that, at least for me, I think the Jets are going to be a playoff team. 5 teams right now are 3-2 in the AFC. 6 teams are 2-3. All right. I get it. Saleh, things of aspects of his coaching worries me. It does look, we should say this, it looks like they might be getting good news on AVT. Because I'm watching.
No.
Well, go ahead, because I know you saw the tweet.
I just saw the tweet from Schefter. If you have it up there, you could say it.
I know, that's all right, but I was going to paraphrase.
They thought it was an Achilles thing, right? Now it might just be a calf. A calf, right?
Yeah, so that seems to be favorable. Last night I watched the postgame with Saleh on SNY. He was pretty blunt and pretty direct and fairly down about the prospects of AVT. Most people, I think, inside that organization thought it was the Achilles. Apparently, it's not, so that's obviously huge. Listen, here's what's going to happen. All right, the Jets are going to lose this week coming up. They're going to lose to the Eagles. They never beat the Eagles. It's not going to change this week. They're going to be 2-4. All right. Then they're going to have a bye week. And then you know what the Jets are going to do at that point? The Jets are going to rip off 3 straight wins. They're going to annihilate the pitiful, we'll get to the Giants at 10-20. Don't worry, you're not going to have to wait that long. We're doing both teams. We'll do the juggle. Giant stuff we'll incorporate coming up in about 13 minutes here on the Fan with BT and Sal. Promise. They will annihilate that pitiful expansion team, the New York Giants. They will beat the Chargers, and they will beat the Raiders. And the New York Jets,
no way.
The Jets will be 5-4 going into the Buffalo game, which I think they'll lose. So again, I don't want to push this too far down the
Well,
road.
no, but I like
But
doing
the
that.
Jets will be 5-4.
I mean, I mean, you're bold and definitive here, but I like looking at the schedule. When you're talking about a playoff team, I mean, I just don't see it. Whether they beat the Giants or not, sure. I mean, they have to win that game. That's another must-win, but they're not as good as the Chargers. Even the
Says who?
Raiders. The Jets.
Are the Chargers 5-0?
Well,
Are the Chargers 4-1?
the Jets,
What's so good about the Chargers?
How many wins do the Jets have exactly?
Jets have 2.
2 wins.
What do the Chargers have? 3?
I mean, well, it's more than the Jets.
It's
You're
one
talking
more.
about, like, the Jets are definitively better.
They play the Dolphins.
Chargers aren't even that good. But even if I give you those wins, you said yourself the Jets are going to lose to the Eagles. Even if I give you the other wins at Buffalo versus Miami, those are losses. I'm not so sure they're better than the Falcons.
They're beating the Falcons. They're beating the Texans. They're beating the Commanders. And by the way, it seems
I noticed you gloss over the Miami games. Why? Big, bad, playoff-bound Jets, unkillable Jets. They can't beat the Dolphins?
Oh, they can. They can take one of them. They always beat them. They always beat one.
Yeah.
And by the way, that last game of the year, here's the most beautiful aspect of all this, right? As the Jets bang out and bag their 9th win, which will happen this year to be a playoff team, it will be against the Patriots. Up in New England, last game of the season, they enter the game 8-8,
right.
and they absolutely finally get the revenge on Belichick, who, by the way, is not much without Tom Brady.
Right.
I know he's been much against the Jets without Tom Brady.
That may be true,
But now they got injuries. Judon's out. The quarterback's hurt. They stink. They're done.
Right.
Jets will win that game.
Oh, my God.
Jets will win that game.
Well, okay, will you stop?
What?
I can't allow you to do that. You can't come on here and say the Jets will win that game against the Patriots. The team they haven't beaten how long? How many straight times?
What is it, 14 in a row? But here's the thing.
Is it 14 or is it 15 now?
It might be 15.
Yeah, right.
Most people say that I can't get on the air and say that the Jets will be a playoff team. Listen, I don't need to be, let me put it this way. I have no problem doing a deeper extrapolation more than some. I admit that.
Right.
This is pushing this forward pretty far. I know Denver's not good.
Right,
I get that.
So,
I get all that. I understand that.
So I want to know what it's based on that you're saying this Jets team definitively after yesterday's game, a game that they had to win.
Yeah, and
to
they
avoid
did.
Total embarrassment.
And they did.
And they're lucky they did.
But no, they did. They did.
They
Because if you want to start assigning elements of luck, we could cherry pick even the good teams around the NFL and say, lucky finish here, lucky win there. I don't care about luck. Did you win or did you lose? Because you know what?
You were happy with that performance yesterday?
I was encouraged by that performance yesterday. There were things that bother me, things you got to clean up, which I think that they will. Zach's got to get the 3 at the end of the half. Solid's got to have this team ready to play. Dumb penalties got to stop. But why am I emboldened to say this team's going to the playoffs? The defense. Listen, by the way, the Jets played with 3 corners who were like third on. DJ Reed didn't play. Eccles got hurt. They were so far down the depth chart, and DJ Reed's coming back next week. So the defense is ferocious. Breece Hall is an absolute superstar, and I don't care what anybody says. Zach Wilson's getting better, and he's getting better fast.
See, that's where we disagree.
He's getting better.
If he were getting better, and again, we'll get into him in a little bit later, specifics. If he were getting better, he would have built off of the performance a week ago, which he did not. So I'll give you.
Are we sure about that, though? You say he didn't?
I don't think he did.
He went 19 for 26, which is what, 72%? He had 3 drops.
What we're doing is getting
back to... He could have been 22 for 26, Sal.
We're getting back to a point where he's now got to become a game manager again. What was the best? The Jets looked the best yesterday at what? Playing defense, and when they're on offense...
Running the ball.
Running the football.
But what's wrong with that?
Nothing. But that's their formula. Play great defense, run the football. And what's going to happen is that's not going to be good enough against teams that actually can play at the NFL level, unlike that washed-up head coach and the rest of his crap team that they have in Denver. When the Jets face real competition, running the football will not look as easy as it did yesterday in Denver, and playing defense will not be as easy. Now, those 2 parts are the only reason for hope, and it was encouraging yesterday. I'll give you that. Not enough to me to say that they're postseason bound.
All right, let's do this. 877-337-6666. Big Football Monday. BT and Sound on the Fan. Don't worry, Giant fans. You will have your say in 10 minutes. We'll start weaving them in. Good God. I mean, they're picking top 3. We're inside of our Town Fair Tire studio, by the way. Of course, always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. I honestly believe the Jets are going to the playoffs. Kyle, West Orange. Kyle, what's cooking, buddy? How are you today?
Yo, what's up, BT, my man? My man, Baldwin Sexy Crew coming in.
What's
Sal, I love you, Sal, because you're real.
Thank you,
You're
Kyle.
real, but I got to go with BT a little bit. BT, here it is. I'm with you a little bit, and I'm with Sal a little bit. It's like my mom and my dad. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
want
but
to
hold
see
on
you
a
both
second.
go away.
Wait, now I'm going to give you plenty of time here. You can't be with both of us when we are both saying the
Okay.
exact opposite. I'm saying they're
All right,
going.
here-
Sal's saying that. What are you saying?
I'm saying they're going to miss it by one.
Well, then you would Sal.
because- I'm with Sal because
You're right.
of the ineptitude, if that's the right word.
Yes.
Forgive me. I'm in construction. About Zach Wilson. Okay, I think the kid is. Look, I think he's going to get better. I think he needs to. He needs a little bit more time. He's not like Burrow and the rest of the guys.
No.
And I think he'll be okay. But I think I watched the game yesterday, and I just was like, that interception. That wasn't it was just he threw it at the wrong location. All right, but I think the kid did better. I think he's getting better.
Yep.
I was impressed with that win in Kansas City. And I also want to say somebody said washed up coach in Denver. Oh, that was a hit. Don't forget washed up quarterback in Russell Wilson.
Yeah, let's ride.
I like Wilson better than I do Peyton.
Let's ride.
Sean Payton is out of his mind. He's lost.
He's tough to like at this point. He's got doesn't he have just a punchable face? I said that with a smile.
Now, I've always
but
hated him. Yeah, I've always hated Sean Payton because of the Aints. I hate New
Oh,
Orleans.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
that?
yeah.
And I will
Falcons thing,
admit, I will admit that like there are certain teams I can't be fair about, and they might be one of them. I don't do it on purpose, but I think I have like a blind spot where I just always hate the Saints. But Sean Payton is lost. If you watch his team yesterday, they're making mistakes left and right. He's still bringing that kick returner out there who can't catch the damn football. He can't hold on to the ball. What are you doing? We're trying to have him make plays. And that's just one of the reasons. Anyway, his team, Sean Payton's team, sucks. Jets beat him, which they had to do, BT, to have a shot at being in the postseason. And I'm with you where I'm encouraged by the defense. That's what you need to see. And very encouraged by the ground game. I just don't think it's the same thing we saw last year, which fell short of the postseason. Why would I think it's going to be any different this year?
877-337-6666. By the way, they can always make a trade. I mean, one thing that I would like to see, and I tweeted this yesterday.
Quarterback?
Wise guy.
For what?
I would like to see the Jets make a trade for a wide receiver. I know they probably need more, especially if AVT's fine, that changes things a bit. I'll always go for the extra O-lineman. I'm not trying to say that that's fully fixed, although it's getting better. Garrett Wilson needs some help. He needs some help. They need another receiver. And if they had that, with the play action, with the run, this offense is set up to be good, not great, good enough with the defense to win.
I still think the problem there is the quarterback. And it's not a knock on him saying he's a total bust, he's never going to get it. You're seeing a quarterback that is still learning his way, which is fine in a circumstance other than trying to go to the postseason. He's not ready yet. They need to run the football. They need to play defense and hope that Zach Wilson doesn't screw up. And we saw this story last year. It's the same exact thing. It didn't work. It's going to say the same thing again.
I know you said that before, and I get it. And literally, you're not wrong. But one of the things that is very different is that Breece Hall's here. Last year, when he went down, that changed everything.
Agreed.
It changed it for the offense, which obviously directly impacted Zach Wilson, which directly impacted his standing with the team, with the whole Mike White stuff. And by the way, if Braxton Berrios catches that ball in Minnesota, thrown from Mike White, they win that game, and they are a playoff team. So, listen, what does last season have to do with this? Not a ton. Just ask the Giants, so we'll start weaving in here in 5 minutes, as I said.
No, but just that it reminds me of that.
No, a little bit. I understand that. I can only explain it this way, and it's tough to quantify.
How many field goals they kicked yesterday?
Who?
The Jets.
A couple.
I mean, so that's all they're doing is kicking field goals.
Well, Zach threw 2 touchdowns against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's not true.
Oh, no, I'm talking about yesterday. I mean, where was their red zone offense yesterday? I mean, where you're supposed to be these back shoulder throws and building off of that. They couldn't.
They didn't try many, quite frankly.
Oh, my
They didn't
goodness.
need to. That's the thing. And here's where I do worry about the Jets staff. I do. This is more a Salva thing, but even with Hackett, you gotta if you're running the ball that well. Can we see some more play action?
Oh, Matt Ryan was begging for it during the game.
He was. And
then they finally did later in the game. But Zach...
And it was a 45-yard gas play to Garrett Wilson.
Zach missed a lot of throws.
No, he didn't miss a lot. Wait, hold on. He missed a lot of throws. He was 19 for 26. Garrett Wilson dropped one on the second drive. Lazard dropped one on the third. He was 19 for 26. You could stop short of saying that you believe in Zach, but let's not make things up. Zach Wilson's gone back-to-back. Listen to me, guys. Back-to-back games, north of 70% completion percentage. And again, I know that should have been a back shoulder throw to Garrett Wilson yesterday. I know that was off an inch or two. That was not a horrendous throw. So if that throw, and if Garrett Wilson's more assertive, knocking that ball down, or maybe even catching it, you know what? That's back-to-back games with no picks. The kid's getting better.
He's gotten better at not throwing the ball in the dirt when he's got a receiver underneath for a check down. I'll give you that.
Come on.
He's gotten better at that.
Boy, you're a tough critic, man.
I'm just saying,
the kid's getting demonstrably better.
A compliment. He's gotten better at not throwing the ball in the dirt. Like, he's hitting these guys underneath, but that's where you're getting the 70%. It's not downfield.
Let's get Anthony and Marlboro up next. BT and Sal. Ant.
Hey, BT, Sal, what's going on, guys?
What's up, buddy?
BT, I want to like you. I do. I love that you love the Knicks, and I love that you love the Yankees, but you're a little delusional with the Jets.
Okay, go ahead.
Zach Wilson couldn't be a star if you put him on top of a Christmas tree.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one. And by the way, those things, I still can't always get them straight.
Yeah,
they're so
it's
heavy.
annoying.
They fall to the side. Pain.
I don't know if it's his fault. They might have ruined him the 2 years prior with the coach and the staff. Yeah, yesterday you want to say, what, he did 19 of 26, great. But, BT, again, when the game was the most, he almost blew it again.
I mean, that's your interpretation. I guess you did. Did you see the pic? Go on my Twitter account, right?
I know. Gary could have made a better play.
Okay, well, if you know that, then why don't you incorporate that into your response?
Oh, because it was a crappy throw.
No, it wasn't that bad.
Justin Fields, and they should have threw all over them. Brees Hall's your best player. You have to utilize him constantly, nonstop.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. But what they asked, what I don't get, if you can process that the Jets didn't ask Zach to do that much yesterday, admittedly, but what they did ask him to do, he did well. How do people not see that? 72% completion for this kid is a massive step forward.
How many yards?
199. He didn't
even throw for 200 yards.
I understand that.
I mean, come on. Like, we're talking about futile quarterback play in today's NFL. Now,
is that really true? So
he's a game. By the way, that's what he should be. Like, you wanted the coaches to have him open up. How'd they look on the first drive right out of the gate?
I did not like the play call. Okay, again, conservative.
No.
And there was a drop.
But I thought they came out throwing it. They couldn't move the football.
They ran the first play. And they ran it. I'm pretty sure they ran it to a lot of scrims. They got nothing, set it up. It was 3rd and 9, whatever, nothing happened.
I just remember thinking, like, this is the same old Jets. Then they punt the ball away, and a kid on special teams that they just brought up made a great play.
Yeah.
Changed the feel of the game. Other than that, again, with this offense, first half, forget about even just the first drive. First half, they're not moving the football. Like, they have major issues. I have issues. When I say the Jets aren't going to the postseason, my reasons are, A, I don't believe in the head coach. B, I don't believe in the quarterback. So when you said that they are going to the postseason, do you believe in a head coach?
I don't, but I think the defense is good enough to offset his inadequacies.
And
I do not believe in the head coach.
You obviously believe in the quarterback much
more than I believe in the current trajectory. Yeah, I've always believed in Zach. Right. You know that, and I believe even more
right
so.
Now, not
I believe in him. Hell yeah, I believe in him.
5 years down
I believe in him. Right? Hell yeah.
You think he's going to win games now for this team?
I've watched him the last 2 games, and 2 future Hall of Famers. He was better than both of them. And I think that that's fairly irrefutable. The tape backs that up. The stats back that up.
Yeah.
He was better than Mahomes. He was better than Russell Wilson.
I don't know if I would say he was better than Russell Wilson yesterday. He was definitely better than Mahomes on Sunday night. But either way, it doesn't matter. He won this particular game. He lost the game on last Sunday. I feel like...
I got it. By the way, more people are with you.
That doesn't mean it's right. That makes me feel worse about it, as a matter of fact. I'd rather be on an island by myself. But I feel like it's the desert water analogy. You're so thirsty.
Yeah, like a little parched.
They finally won a game they had to. They avoided total embarrassment. And by the way, it took everything that they had to sneak away with that win, which they barely were able to hang on. And then I'm supposed to go nuts and say they're a playoff team?
I'm not asking you to go nuts. If Zach was 17 for 31 with 161 yards and 2 picks, and the Jets just happened to still beat a woeful Broncos team, that's a little bit of a different discussion. And I'm not saying that he was Mahomes on his best day yesterday. Zach Wilson was good yesterday. He was good. You're just not going to be convinced. I get it. You're not going to be convinced. You've taken a position. You dug in deeply, much like I have with Zach. The difference is I'm actually right.
Well,
Because he's trending in the right direction, not the wrong direction. And people are still hating. And that's fine.
But you said he was good yesterday, and you referenced the 70% completion.
72.
How many touchdowns?
With multiple drops.
How many touchdowns did he have?
None.
How many interceptions did he have?
One that was not his fault.
I mean, that's
one
not
that was not his
good,
fault.
but
One that was not his fault.
Doesn't matter. He didn't throw a touchdown or run for a touchdown, and he threw an interception.
Didn't need to.
And he fumbled the football. I mean, he's lucky they didn't get that one.
They knew they can run the ball, Sal, and they knew they didn't need to deviate too. Now, I'd like to see the next wrinkle, the next layer, a little more play action, some pops downfield, throw the freaking ball down the field. The one time they did it was 45 yards to Garrett Wilson. Can you throw the ball down the field? But that's a different discussion for a different day. You know why? Because that's coming. That's coming. 877-337-6666. All these little checkpoints, that you have to hit. Open your eyes. The kid's hitting them. All right, BT and Sal on the Fan. Whoa, the Giants, God, they are just, they're heinous. I don't know what other word to use. They are just repulsively bad. We'll talk about the G-Men next. Obviously, we'll juggle both. BT and Sal on a busy Football Monday here on the Fan.